Another common hadith that is sometimes quoted is a hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "A party of my community shall not cease fighting for truth, and it shall be triumphant over its opponents." Imam al-Nawawi, a respected commentator on hadith, says that this hadith only is showing that there will be many people who fight for truth. And among the fighters for truth, he lists jurists and scholars and commentators of hadith and various people. In other words, this is not just physical fighting for truth, but all efforts towards defending truth. And lastly, another common hadith that is also raised that we find in Sahih Bukhari, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "Paradise is under the shade of swords." This hadith is understood to glorify martyrdom, to glorify desiring warfare. However, the full hadith, if quoted, and if somebody wants to be honest to the Prophet, peace be upon him, is to look at the hadith from the beginning. The hadith actually starts by saying, "La tatamannaw liqa'al adu." Do not desire to meet the enemy. That's how the hadith actually starts in Sahih Bukhari. It says, "Do not desire to meet the enemy and ask Allah for safety. But when the enemy comes upon you, then be steadfast and patient, for paradise is under the shade of swords." So if this hadith is to be interpreted in full and read in full, the context of the hadith clarifies that the hadith actually starts by saying, do not desire to meet the enemy, do not desire warfare. But if the enemy comes upon you, then be steadfast and know that paradise is under the shade of swords. In other words, if you die defending yourselves, you die as martyrs. All the verses of the Quran and all the hadith that are quoted by people to try and interpret them as justifying warfare unjustly, justifying aggression or terrorism, when these verses are quoted and read in their own context and in the context of other verses on the same subject area, one draws the only conclusion that warfare in Islam is only permissible in defending justice, in defending oneself against injustice, aggression, or treachery that could lead to the loss of life. A Muslim is not and never allowed to be unjust to any. And Allah knows best.